I knew that aircraft carriers were expensive, but $13 billion is insane. That is such a big amount of money. But I mean, when it comes to defense, defending your country, your allies, I suppose you can't really, scrimp and save there. Like, you know, it's expensive, but I really want to see what this aircraft carrier can do because I mean, that amount of money, this thing has to be special, right? Looks huge, to be fair.
When John F. Kennedy's bold declaration, "We choose to go to the moon," wasn't just about space exploration. It was a rallying cry for American technological supremacy, a pursuit he saw as vital for national security and global leadership. Today, bearing his name, the USS John F. Kennedy, or CVN-79, the second aircraft carrier of its generation, is said to redefine naval power. Yet, in an era where military technology shrinks and conflicts become increasingly asymmetrical, a critical question looms. Can a ship designed for over 50 years of service truly adapt to the rapid evolution of threats like hypersonic weapons, swarming stealth drones, and pervasive orbital surveillance?
And things like AI and stuff like that.
Or will this colossal warship quickly become obsolete? We aim to explore this question today.
Let's go.
Few
Man, it looks so cool though. It's like a floating military base, pretty much.
weapons in history have shaped warfare as profoundly as the aircraft carrier. Ever since Japan commissioned its first carrier in 1922, these maritime giants have become indispensable tools for projecting power across the globe. During World War II, US aircraft carriers were pivotal in naval battles that turned the tide, and they've continued to play a crucial role in every subsequent conflict involving the country. Today, when a global crisis erupts, one of the first questions on everyone's mind often is, where is the nearest American aircraft carrier? Decades of unwavering dedication have enabled the US Navy to deploy some of history's most impressive and indeed most costly ships, and the Gerald R. Ford-class supercarriers are the pinnacle of this ambition.
I think they're nuclear powered, aren't they? Or have they been nuclear powered for a while, aircraft carriers? I'm pretty sure these ones are at least.
These aren't just big ships, they're the largest and most expensive in US history. To give you a sense of their sheer scale, imagine 3 NFL football fields laid end to end. One of these carriers extends even further,
Wow.
a staggering 116 feet beyond that. Its approximate width of 256 feet dwarfs the 224-foot wingspan of a Boeing 747.
Man.
And at 250 feet tall, the ship stands taller than Bavaria's iconic fairy tale-like Neuschwanstein Castle, the very inspiration for Disney's Enchanted Palaces.
God, what do you think it weighs, man? This thing must weigh, I'm just, top of my head here. This thing's probably going to weigh like a million tons, or maybe not quite. Maybe in the hundreds of thousands. I mean, this thing is enormous.
Such a behemoth naturally comes with an equally staggering price tag for American taxpayers. The first ship of the Ford class, the USS Gerald R. Ford, cost an eye-watering $12.8 billion for the ship itself, with an additional $4.7 billion for research and development. For the USS John F. Kennedy, CVN-79, the US Navy has already invested $11.34 billion.
Man, one thing you can say about the US military, it does not, like when it comes to spending on its defense, it does not cut corners. By the way, guys, I've started a newsletter about my journey to possibly moving to America. I'm going to get very personal in there, reveal a lot of things that I can't discuss on YouTube. Link is below.
This impressive cost reduction wasn't just due to technological refinements within the carrier, but also through optimizing the entire design and construction process. While it typically took the US around 5 years to construct aircraft carriers in the past, the wait for the Ford class was significantly longer. Construction of the USS Jeldar IV began in 2009, and the ship wasn't commissioned until 2017. However, considering the sheer number of groundbreaking innovations packed into these vessels, few would argue that this extended wait was in vain, especially given what this 100,000-ton Atlas inherited.
100,000 tons. Okay, so I was a bit off with the million tons, but 100,000 is still ridiculous considering a car weighs about a ton and a half, like a sedan. That's wild.
And vastly improved upon from its predecessor of the revered Nimitz class.
Man, it's a big boy, isn't it? God, just look at it cruising.
The CVN-79 supercarrier has undergone a truly significant modernization, with its heart being two A-1B nuclear reactors. Designed by Bechtel, these reactors generate an astonishing 700 megawatts of thermal power, a substantial 25% increase over the Nimitz reactor's 550 megawatts. This enhanced electrical power is the lifeblood for one of the John F. Kennedy's most revolutionary features, the new Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, or EMALS. EMALS, which utilizes cutting-edge linear induction motor catapults, replaces the older, less efficient steam piston catapults. This new system offers a myriad of advantages. It's lighter, more cost-effective to operate, and requires significantly less technical maintenance.
Okay.
Furthermore, the complete removal of bulky steam generation and storage equipment frees up considerable space below deck, optimizing the ship's internal layout. This innovation also dramatically boosts the number of aircraft sorties per day by an impressive 25%, and crucially, significantly reduces the stress on aircraft airframes during launch. This expanded operational capability allows
Wow, what is that? Is that a B-2 bomber? Looks like it.
CVN-79 to deploy a wider and more diverse range of aircraft, including the very latest stealth UAVs. Beyond EMALS, electromagnets are also ingeniously integrated into the Advanced Arresting Gear, or AAG, braking system, replacing the traditional hydraulic mechanism for recovery.
It's either a B-2 or a B-21.
The new US supercarrier introduces profound advancements in naval warfare. A key decision, as mentioned, was the adoption of the AAG instead of the traditional hydraulic systems for aircraft recovery. This change was primarily driven by the increasing use of drones by the US Navy and Air Force.
Right.
The older hydraulic systems simply struggled to capture these lighter, more delicate
Look at the silhouette on it. It looks like a bird.
UAVs without causing excessive stress or outright damage. The
Very
AAG
cool.
with the turbo-electric engine can precisely absorb energy and significantly reduce the impact on UAV airframes, ensuring their safe return. The Navy aims to increase the number of aircraft that Ford-class carriers can accommodate. While CVN-78 can carry between 75 and 90 aircraft, helicopters, and UAVs, there are active discussions about CVN-79 carrying a full 100 aircraft.
Wow.
However, it remains uncertain if this ambitious goal will be met with CVN-79 itself, or if it's a target more feasible for the third aircraft carrier, the USS Enterprise, CVN-80, which is currently scheduled for commissioning in September 2029.
I suppose the more aircraft it can carry at one time, the greater force it can project around the world. Because I suppose America's enemies will also know that if that aircraft carrier is close by, there's going to be 100 planes on it too that it can use to respond to like emergencies. So I suppose, yeah, having a big payload in terms of planes is a good thing, right? But is it worth the money that you'd need to spend to make it big enough to carry those planes?
CVN-79 is designed to host a diverse and formidable array of aircraft. This includes the latest Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II fighters, Boeing FA-18EF Super Hornet fighters, Grumman C-2 Greyhound transports, Boeing EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft, Northrop Grumman ET Hawkeye airborne early warning aircraft, and Sikorsky SH-60 Seahawk helicopters. For drones, the primary focus is on deploying the Boeing
Dude, drones look so cool. I mean, obviously they're not cool if you're if you're the one that they're coming after. But I mean, like, it's a cool looking piece of equipment, isn't it?
25 Stingray unmanned refueling drones, which are being seamlessly integrated with the Nemo's catapults and Gerald R. Ford class arresting gear. The Navy also intends for these supercarriers to serve as forward operating bases for advanced reconnaissance and attack drones, potentially even resurrecting concepts like the formidable Northrop Grumman X-47B unmanned combat aerial vehicle. To effectively arm this impressive aerial contingent, the Gerald R. Ford class, in particularly CVN-79, features 11 new Advanced Weapon Elevators, or AWEs. These AWEs, powered by electromagnetic motors, are incredibly fast, capable of traveling at speeds up to 150 feet per minute, and transporting up to 24,000 pounds of ordnance from lower decks directly to aircraft on the main flight deck.
24,000 pounds. God damn.
This revolutionary design ensures that ammunition movement avoids critical aircraft wing zones, eliminating potential bottlenecks and problems within hangars and on the deck.
Dude, you would not want to go up against this thing, man. Not only has it got planes, but, you know, the carrier itself can launch, you know, 24,000 pounds of ordnance at you. Like, forget it.
Consequently, aircraft can be rearmed in minutes instead of hours, dramatically increasing the peak number of sorties per day to an astounding 270, significantly compared to the 180 sorties of the Nimitz-class predecessors. For prolonged conflict, the sustained number of sorties over a month is projected to be around 160 per day.
A notable difference between the USS John F. Kennedy and the USS Gerald R. Ford is the installation of an updated.
The Gerald Ford does look very intimidating, though. That front shot just looks enormous. I wonder which one. The Kennedy's bigger, isn't it? Or which one's bigger?
Enterprise Air Surveillance Radar System, or EASR, on the former. The decision to switch from the dual-band radar, which combined S-band and X-band radars, was primarily driven by the need for cost efficiency. CBN-79 maintained excellent operational efficiency while saving over $350 million for taxpayers.
Nice.
The EASR is a more easily scalable, cheaper, and unified radar system designed for various US Navy ships.
Americans watching this, are you guys happy with the amount of money spent on the military, on defense? I think it's almost $1 trillion now, like, which is an enormous amount of money. Do you think it's worth it? I mean, as, you know, one of America's allies, you know, that relies quite heavily on America, to be fair, when it comes to defense, I think it's worth it because, you know, it keeps America's enemies at bay, right? If it knows that America has so much resources, so much, you know, firepower, they're not going to try and go up against them, are they? But at the same time, you could argue a lot of that money could be used elsewhere. Maybe if they just diverted a bit of it, like 10% of $1 trillion is 100 billion. You know, what would 100 billion look like on schools, infrastructure? It's an interesting one.
Simultaneously reducing logistics and personnel training costs across the fleet. While the loss of Raytheon's ahead of its time DBR, originally developed for the cancelled Zumwalt-class destroyers, is acknowledged, the clear benefits of the EASR for fleet-wide integration are undeniable. CBN-79's inherent armament includes a robust defensive suite, 2 RIM 162 evolved Sea Sparrow SESM surface-to-air missile launchers, 2 RIM 1116 rolling airframe missile, RAM surface-to-air missile launchers, 3 Phalanx close-in weapon systems, or CIWS, 4 MK38 25mm machine gun systems, and 4 M2 Browning .50 caliber machine guns.
Jeez Louise, man, that's a lot of firepower.
These armaments are absolutely crucial, especially in the context of potential clashes with technologically advanced rivals like China, which possesses formidable weapons such as the DF-21D hypersonic anti-ship missiles.
Man.
But the United States is not stopping there. It's poised to revolutionize naval warfare with the integration of combat lasers and perhaps even power armor on its supercarriers. While progress on power armor remains under wraps,
Laser weapon testing has been ongoing for years, with promising results. For instance, over a decade ago, the USS Prune successfully demonstrated a 40 kilowatt laser's capabilities by sinking a motorboat, disarming drones, and even detonating a rocket-propelled grenade. More recently, in February 2025, the USS Preble completed a successful test of its high-energy laser with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance, or HELIOS, destroying an unmanned aerial target. The Helios was developed by Lockheed Martin, was first spotted on the Preble in 2022, notably replacing previously installed CRAM. Helios emerges as a formidable contender for the Ford-class carriers, presenting several critical advantages that address the evolving threat landscape.
Man,
The CVN-79, currently under construction at Newport News Shipbuilding, is expected to be commissioned before the end of 2025.
nice. Okay. So literally any time from now, if not already.
This aligns perfectly with the Navy's ambitious FY 2025 to 2054 shipbuilding plan, which aims to increase the number of crewed ships to 381, including a robust force of 12 supercarriers, with 10 of those being Gerald R. Ford-class vessels. Considering these incredible developments and the ever-evolving nature of warfare, do you believe aircraft carriers will maintain their relevance in the 2050s amidst future, less obvious threats? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
You know what? It's a very good question because I think AI is going to become even more, as time goes on, it's going to become integrated into everything. And AI is going to be used by every country. You know, they're going to have their own LLMs, their own systems that they're going to use to hack each other. So, and an aircraft carrier probably runs on a bunch of different software, right? It's weapon systems, it's radar, even things like its air filtration systems, like probably rely on software. So these systems have to be as bulletproof as possible. They never can be 100% because you can always hack a program. There's always a backdoor, always. So yeah, they need to make sure the software side is as formidable as the hardware side. There's no point having all these weapons and being able to carry all these planes if an adversary can just hack into the system and disable, you from like launching, payload and things like that, and launching the planes, the catapult system, for example. Like, you need to make sure the software is as good as the hardware. But in terms of the hardware, these things look unstoppable. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.